All right, hello everybody. We're back, and thank you kindly for watching that break. We are just waiting on a match to become available, as said before. Also, oh shoot, I just had 3 minutes of ads instead of 2 minutes, so some of you are hearing this and some of you aren't. At least I didn't do this whole way of gameplay going on, I suppose.
Yeah, that could have been worse.
Well, I'm just gonna wait a minute and talk about what I was gonna talk about. So while we are waiting, how's life?
It's all right. I booked my place for Korea, so that's happened.
But Zombie Grub, why do you need to book a place if you got the BaseTradeTV house?
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't be surprised that people think I'm gonna live there, but I think if you really thought it through, you could see why that'd be a problem.
What? You mean casting at 4 a.m. when they should be sleeping and resting up is not acceptable?
I think people sometimes even forget that that would be 4 a.m. in Korea, so yeah. I try not to be too snarky when I respond to those tweets.
Yeah, for me it's kind of common sense, I guess, and we've talked to death about things such as this, but okay, now that I'm assuming the commercial breaks have caught up, because again, sorry guys, some of you just watched 3 minutes of ads when I meant to hit 2. Luckily I didn't accidentally do that over gameplay footage or anything. We are currently waiting on a match. However, I was going to talk about the t-shirt a little bit more, or rather the jersey, or whatever you want to label it as. So I saw someone write something in chat. I'm going to be honest guys, if you write anything in Twitch chat and expect me to remember it, you are sorely mistaken. Because the second we're done stream, my brain does like a toilet flush, and anything that happened on stream, I'm done. I don't remember. So the reason I bring this up is not because I'm trying to like shame anyone for messaging me in chat, but to say rather, if you guys do know of a t-shirt place, I'd say the best thing you could do is DM me on Twitter about it. So again, here's what the shirt looks like, and the big problem with the design of this shirt in terms of like we're looking at Spreadshirt and Teespring and companies we've worked with is the sleeve here. You know, we can't, there's not a lot of places that will print a full sleeve from like collar to end of sleeve like this. So if you guys know of any shirt places that do this, I would certainly be down for doing my own research and spending my own time looking into it further. But as of the moment, I don't know any sites, any companies, or any places that do this. That's why we end up having to make like a full-on jersey and not a shirt. But if we can make easily accessible shirts for the fans, yo, I'm all down for that. Also, it looks like our first semifinals is ready to go, and perhaps not super surprising, Namshar defeated Snoot. Namshar has seriously some of the best ZvZ in Europe right now. He's kicking a lot of ass. I would be curious to see whether him or a laser has better statistics. But yeah, so Namshar beating Snoot is not crazy and out of this world, although for some it may be. But believe it or not, Namshar is a good player. I know. What? Hey.
This actually doesn't have many Zergs at all anymore. Namshar's the last surviving Zerg.
Yeah. TVP and TVZ are the semifinals on both sides. So looks like Blizzard needs to nerf Terran. Please, God, don't do that. This was a joke. Yep. I know some people from Blizzard watch this while they're working, but it's not even that they nerf Terran. They're just buffing everything else. It's kind of like...
Well, we literally got a nerf to Wooden Mines.
Oh, that's true, but not in this matchup, not in TVZ. Anyways, what I was gonna say though is this is gonna be really interesting. I think this is the type of matchup where you do have questions get raised. uThermal may have just assumed that this was gonna be Snoot this whole time and kind of like rolled his eyes, or I don't know. Maybe this is just a matchup where he's gonna go Reapers, and more Reapers. But I gotta say, looking at the matches that are potentially available and left. First off, Mana is streaming his first-person point of view. So if you guys are curious about how those games versus Neeb are going, you can check out his stream, and I would certainly recommend it. But I'm wondering, like, you're certainly going to have what is likely alive, I think, take the series from Keen, and then likely take the finals. So in my mind, is it Namshar or is it uThermal versus alive in those finals? And some of you, I'm sure, are like, well, why are you counting Neeb out, Rifkin? And that's because Neeb's TVP over the last 2 or 3 casts in this like last week has not looked that great. I really like Neeb. I respect him as a person and a player, and I acknowledge he's very good, but I'm just saying right now I truly do not know if he could actually beat Alive or Keen in a best of 3.
I don't think so.
And it's one of those things too where like I'm okay with being wrong about things like that too, because Neeb might have just had a bad week. Like that's also very true.
Yeah, that could happen. They get a Legacy Al for the new Twitch Prime sub.
Hey, nice to see you, Legacy Al. Thanks for joining the Base Trade Brigade. By the way, some phenomenal news in terms of subs. I had mentioned before that we were just kind of on this steady decline. You know, we had almost been below 1,100, but I don't know what happened. It was like one of the Ting groups, I think, Sunday. Yeah, Sunday was the day after the talk show, so I think that was the NA group. We got like crazy subs that day. We're above 1,200 again, which is awesome.
Yay!
Yay! And again, with subscribers, that's how we're doing things like paying for Biel's salary and things like this. I really wish we could afford to pay Biel a super lucrative, amazing salary. I can't tell you guys how much we're paying him, but it's certainly, I don't think as much as I wish we could. So the more subscribers we have, the more options we have to do fun things like this in the future. Like maybe once Biel finds a home and finds a team, we can help another player out or something. But at the moment, what's nice is Zombie and I built this, I'm going to use big air quotes here to say empire, BaseTradeTV, without taking from subscriber money. We actually needed subscriber money to fund and fuel a lot of these tournaments, but now we've got Corsair and Twitch and a lot of other folks picking up the check for the prize money. So this is the first year of BaseTradeTV we've been able to take home that sub money for ourselves, and it's nice, but it's also like all kind of bonus. So finding cool outlets, whether it's like an off tournament here or sponsoring Biel, something her and I have both, we've wanted, not Biel specifically, but like a Korean player in general, we've wanted to be able to support in some way for such a long time. It's kind of cool because we get to, it's, I don't want people to talk about like their dreams. They're talking about like flying to the Tahiti resort and like having a crazy vacation or something like that. For us, it's like, this is really cool for us to be able to do. And it's thanks to you guys. Is Rifkin Shizel, fuck off, man. I don't come to your stream and cheer on. You know what? Hey Shizel, nice cannon rushing. You know Terran can't make cannons, right, bro? No, sorry, I was just a little bit of pent up anger. Call me a vampire. I haven't called a vampire in years. Actually, did I tell you where I tried to debunk the vampire theory on the couch stream?
Yeah, you did.
I brought a mirror and everything, man. It's ridiculous. I wish this webcam cord was longer. The bathroom was right there. I would drag this thing in there and make you guys look at me in a mirror. I would cast from the bathroom through a mirror if that's what it took to dispel this bullshit.
There's a lot of different type of vampires. I'm sure some can be seen in a mirror.
Am I the sexy kind of vampire?
Do you sparkle?
Give me a second. I'll find some glitter. There's a dollar store like down the street. Are you gonna message him or should I message him?
I messaged him. He's back.
Oh, okay.
I think yeah, I think that was something different.
Yeah, so for those who don't know what's going on, we're in the lobby for Newkirk Precinct. We've got Namshar in here. We're waiting for uThermal, who has just disappeared.
Yeah, he said 1 second. But it was like 10 seconds ago, so lies.
Yo, I want to give some props to this. I wish there was like a DeviantArt or something. I don't know who did it. I saw on Reddit this morning this Siege Tank fan art thing. I'm just going to put it up real quick. This is beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Like, okay, whatever. It's a good look of girl, guys. Get over it. But the actual just art in general is awesome. I actually really like it. Like, this is like, I want to make this my desktop. Like, it's so good.
It's all right.
I guess for me, part of it too is that there's not much StarCraft fan art that goes around anymore. So, A, you see something that's not by that often, and then B, looks really good. I
mean, I do appreciate any and all StarCraft fan art. Yep. It's on Art Station actually.
Art Station. What's that? Oh, I just clicked.
Like a more mature DeviantArt.
I was gonna say some really good stuff.
Yeah, it does.
Well, anyways, yeah, I appreciate it. I've been trying to commission some stuff for a while. I'm sure some of you guys know from watching my Twitter here and there, but without much success. I was really sad. I was contacting this Japanese artist I really enjoy, and I'll play the intro for this. I said, "Do you know StarCraft?" And they responded with Overwatch ? And I was like, "Oh no."
Why would they respond to that?
I don't know. Anyways, I'm ready whenever they are. I've got the intros queued up. Ladies and gentlemen, Newkirk Precinct with Namshar versus uThermal, a TVZ. As soon as everybody is ready, but I believe we've now lost Namshar in the process of waiting for you.
A little bit, maybe.
Well, you know what? This gives me an excuse and time to tweet at least.
Okay.
I'll call it right now. Namshar got up to get a Coke.
Okay. All right. Maybe.
Oh, uThermal's like the only Team Liquid member that's not like verified on Twitter. I just realized.
Let's try and message him.
Namshar, are you getting a Coke?
Does he like Coke?
Well, so this is a real big throwback for anyone who has been watching the stream for a while. Namshar used to always have to get up like after every 3 games of casting to go grab like a Coke, and I'm like, dude, you shouldn't drink so much Coke. That can't be good for you, man.
I don't think it was actually like getting a can. That's like one of those super tiny cans.
Speaking of sparkling, I just realized I don't have red water today. I've got orange water because it's my sparkling ice. Oh, it's backwards. Shit. Okay, well, whatever. You guys, if I had a mirror, I would show you in the mirror so it would be forward and whatever. Point is, I am sparkling, so I am the sexy kind of vampire. But I'm not a vampire, so don't read into that.
Okay, well, I guess you proved you're the special kind of vampire. Ready to go, man.
The special kind of vampire.
I think toilet vampires could be seen in a mirror, but I don't actually know if they ever even bothered talking about that.
Well, there are some Indian vampires named Amir, I'm sure.
You can't talk anymore.
Okay, he would have gotten a Coke. I want to put this on the record. He would have gotten a Coke if he didn't run out of them. But okay, tweets are out. I think we're ready to go. Let's get into it. I'll see you guys here in a moment. So I noticed during the intro you had the same weird observation I just did, where I don't know, did the stream die?
I didn't see it. I didn't see anyone else complain about it. I don't know, man.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, usually when the stream goes offline or hiccups, you'll see this message, or you come online for the first time, it'll be like, blank many users have subscribed, but you were away, and it's like 7 people subbed while we were still online and not actually away is a weird message to get, so it raised some concerns. But assuming we are all good, we're just going to get into the game. It's the semifinals, the first of 2. There are 2 best of 3s, including this one, and 1 best of 5 left in the broadcast today, so I hope you guys are ready for some more, as again, there's TVP after this. But in the bottom right, to kick off this first semifinals in the Corsair Cup, Season 3, Episode 2, it's Namshar.
In the bottom left is the Red Terran. He is Liquid Thermi.
What's kind of interesting, too, Namshar came here off the back end of beating Snoot, which is really cool, but uThermal also got here off of the back end of beating TLO, so both of these guys had pretty decent opponents and was hardly a walkover bracket for them.
No, it wasn't. But uThermal beating a Zerg, I think is a little more pertinent to him maybe beating Namshar here. Namshar, like, it's impressive that he's getting better and better. He's actually been a player for a very long time, and he's been steadily improving. So it's great to see him get to these later stages.
Donation, as well as a new sub, by the way, or was it resub?
New sub.
Genghis Wolves, 3 months. Says, I'm meant to do 1 month to you, 1 month to Wardy, but that seems to have effed. I'm not sure what you mean, but thank you for the support, I guess? With a stern question mark?
Yeah?
Walgren, 78, just donated $5 to say, for a cross to ZG, Ace Fam.
Oh, that confused me.
I really need to read these before I read them.
Yeah, you really do.
Then Lazy Boy Sleeper and Dual Integrals were the other subs. Thank you guys so much for your support. Reaper hops into the base, though, and Namshar is chasing after it. This is kind of good for uThermal, though, in a small way. Like, the Reaper dies, and it doesn't kill much, but this also means that nothing was coming across the map to kill this SCV, so no headache and chaos.
And as I was saying, Namshar is getting better and better, and it's great to see him in the round of 8, or round of 4, rather, and beat Snoot. But I still think that he has these wonky matchups, and I'm still not. I'm definitely not convinced right here, right now, that he's going to beat uThermal, who looks still very powerful in TBZ. And I don't think a macro game is actually going to work out that well. But if uThermal's been on top of scouting, then I guess cheese wouldn't work out either.
Top side of the bracket, by the way. Neeb lost to Mana. So Neeb is having a really bad week, I guess. But at the same time, congratulations to Mana, who moves on to fight against Keen. That will be our second semifinals match. Yeah.
When Mana beat Billowy, I kind of just chalked it up to Billowy's in Korea. And Mana has commented on the difficulties before, coming off server for PvP.
Fighting Zest with such confidence.
But maybe his PvP was just really on tip-top form.
Maybe. This is going to be interesting because this looks very similar to the way he opened versus TLO in that very first game. So we got Cyclones following this up. We got Cloaked Banshees on the way. We'll see if he goes for 2.
Oh, it's like the exact same way he opened up versus TLO. That did some pretty nice damage. He got to the natural base very quickly, though, I would say. Like, he actually got in there and was walking around in the mineral line. So it was very annoying. I can't think the same thing is going to happen on Newkirk. There's just such an open natural that you should have a lot of opportunities to get us around before they get too ingrained in your base.
Well, the Roach Warren's on the way, so if this takes too long, Namshar should be able to hold this off. But hell, even the Queens might just get the job done. Cyclones are going to be limited. There's actually not that much here to make this too scary. But with the armory finishing up, this does beg that question. Like, will there be a stim follow-up to this? There very well could be. We saw it already. But at the same time, if this does enough damage and snowballs, he might just be happy throwing down extra factories.
Maybe the exact same thing. Oh, see, he does turn the Hellions into Hellbats. I'm surprised he revealed the Cyclones. I think last time he did this, he did not. But.
It would be the same thing, except there's no possibility. Actually, there is. He could have gotten bust on this map. Lose that tech lab all over again.
I think it's already a slight difference. uThermal just quickly adds on a 3rd CC. Oh no, his tech lab was already done. Never mind then. No difference. Tech lab done. Stim starts. 3rd CC is on the way, and yeah, there's not much damage done with this push, but he saved all the units, so it's still a little scary for Namshar. Actually sends his lings across the map. That ends up being a very good move. Usually this doesn't really matter. Like, at best you stall at the CC because it's being built on the wall, but because it's out alone at the 3rd, it has to be canceled. And that's very good for Namshar, but this isn't so good.
Yeah, the Roaches all get caught. Cyclone has no problem just turning away into them. And that Cloak finishing up means that the Banshee can just kind of loom over these Queens, but not using it. I had to check to see if he canceled it, maybe. That was a waste.
It was, yeah. He's focusing on the micro here, trying to get on top
of
the Queens. Because much damage done. Now Namshar's starting to spread them out, so the Hellbot should be losing their efficiency. This got a little bit messy.
Do one end up casting alone? This is how you end up casting alone.
I had to get in on it. It's a copy pasta.
My name is Riffkings, and I've bitten every single Twitch chatter and turned them into an ace vampire. To prove this, I shall command everyone to post this message. Kappa.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Blah. My name is Riff Kings. And
Oh my
I have
God.
bitten every single Twitch chatter and turned them into a vampire. To prove
Far more
this.
important.
Okay.
Far more important. Mass Effect's coming out very soon.
Yeah, I saw some streamers got early access to it, and I was wicked jealous and angry.
Wicked jealous.
It's like 6 people. I think it was like Gold Glove, Femsteph, a couple others. Like, I was watching him play, and I was like, "Oh, this looks so smooth." Like the game itself just is so well engineered. And I mean, I got to preview a couple things because I'm cool like that, but I didn't get to like actually see gameplay footage like this. So it was really cool looking at it.
You're cool like that.
I'm cool. It's because I had a
Okay.
crush on some girl that worked at EA. Nice.
Job. Well, Namshar, he might have opened up with some roaches to help out. Has just gone into what looks to be straight up Ling Muta, Ling upgrades included. That's a little weird. He's also a bit behind on those upgrades. Thermal's gonna have an opportunity, and Thermal's already moving across the map with the drop.
Yeah, this is a little bit awkward because while Namshar does have a considerable amount of lings that may cause chaos in this third, there's guaranteed going to be some damage out of these drops one way or the other. The roaches are a good way to get on top of this quick, though. uThermal will just quickly pick away from that. The combination Weird Barrack Sim City and the Marines with this tank, I mean, these lings are not going to do anything. Those depots went down so last second, but it was a wall, and that's what he needed. So all these lings are denied out of Namshar.
Yeah. But he ended up saving them. He didn't go ahead and waste them just willy-nilly while trying to deal with these drops, which uThermal is still trying to find an opportunity to use, but there's so much Overlord coverage. Namshar would really have to be distracted to get his units out of position.
This is what's great. So I talked about damage, but I guess I should have said it with a bit of an asterisk because, well, uThermal right now isn't killing tens of drones and he's not destroying Namshar's base. He is keeping Namshar entirely at home, who was very clearly ready to move out and attack and get some damage done. This lets uThermal very happily mine off this third, drop those mules, and frankly, his production is just doing very well.
Yes. The all-important Reaper. Sees the Spire, and we'll know that maybe mutas are going to be in the way, so he shouldn't be dropping any more than this. He could probably save the medevac if he had pulled it away sooner. Oh well. He's more focused on the push towards the front, and Namshar has already expanded to that fourth base right there. So he's going to have to pull away. A little too much to deal with. He doesn't have any banelings. He doesn't have baneling speed if he did.
Someone wants to clip the vampire. You know, broadcasters can delete clips on their end, guys. That's why every time you see a highlight clip of ProTech on Reddit, it's unavailable.
I've never clicked on it, so I had no idea, but that's funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Someone will catch him doing something shitty, and he'll like delete the clip on his end. Ugh. But yeah, I'm just saying, don't be clipping.
yeah.
Treat the
These-
clips like a mirror. You can't see a vampire in them, okay?
These tanks have +1 vehicle weapons, so these things are really getting obliterated. Baneling speed still isn't done, and the mutas, I think like 3 of them died while they were coming out, so while there's still like a good number, 11's not bad, they're not doing enough damage to bring Thermal home. Oh, maybe they are. He is moving out anyway, whether the mutas just a little too scared of Namshar's army.
That just reminded me, watching the Power Rangers marathon. Yeah, I obviously don't remember anything about quotes from the show. So the very first episode where Rita comes out of the hole that they were trapped in, she's like, after 10,000 years, I'm finally free. Like, you know, that whole spiel.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it's immediately followed up with a line where she starts talking about having a coming out party. I'm just like, Power Rangers. God damn it. Also, this is like, you know, 20 plus years later in life, never did I realize that was supposed to be her hair. I always thought it was just like some goofy like witch hat she wore.
I thought it was a hat. Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad to know I'm not alone on that one.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would assume that.
We'll continue to push.
Namshar is still so far behind in upgrades.
I mean, his army supply is not bad because it's not all roaches and ravagers. It's a good mix of ravagers, lings, and banelings, but it's hardly the composition I think you want to have against this sort of situation. I think if you've got infestors instead of the banelings, I actually like this a lot more because you have a lot more control. But the banelings are just volatile and they're kind of risky and you don't know whether they'll get good hits or not. Tanks end up soaking a lot of the banelings. He tries to overpower, but he's coming off a creep. uThermal's got a lot more units where that came from, and he sends Namshar packing. All the banelings pretty much used up. There's like 5, 6 left.
He's making 6 more, but his mutas get slaughtered here. His creeps is going to go down, and finally have some marauders being joined in too, so they can soak up, I guess, what usually would be soaking up by splash damage. He doesn't have quite yet. He's gone back into Widow Mines opposed to tanks, but they've only just started. Namshar is in a pretty difficult position, but he's definitely out of the game. He just needs one good engagement to go in his favor, and he can certainly bring this back out on very important tech like those infestors or a hive.
Yeah, I mean, like, if this was some sort of miracle scenario where he gets those Corsair Biles, the medevacs die, like, absolutely Namshar suddenly is back in this game in a big way. But the likelihood of that without things like infestors is really low, and that's why I really think there's a lot of power in the infestor. It itself is not that amazing, it's not that astounding, but what it can do with other units and turn them into these miracle engagements is so cool. But oh god, these lings are just being sacrificed to the Terran god.
Yeah, at the very least, Epic had finished, but let the Banelings roll in before picking up. A little bit of a mistake there.
I traded out for so many Zerglings, so like that had to have been worthwhile. Namshar just doesn't have a lot of anything on the map, really. Creep tumor's been cleaned up. I mean, I love that he had so much creep in the first place to get cleaned up, but yeah, the Banelings contemplate rolling in, and even on creep, that wouldn't be favorable, so he ends up going back north. These two medevacs are almost like a bluff. There's nothing really in them.
No, they're cleaned up. 3-3 is about to finish, and uThermal does have a 4th CC. He is now floating over to a more forward 4th than you might see other Terrans do. Still cleaning up a lot of creep, and Namshar is just, again, still feeling the pressure. He might have stabilized a little with his 4 bases, but all of his creep spread is gone now, so he really doesn't have any advance notice or any benefits in defending. Oh, barely doesn't get that medevac. Banelings have to come back and help out with this, with the upgrades being done for the bio, but if they come back here, then they're not the 4th base, and that 4th base is goner.
Oh, those Banelings are focused, fired down so well. uThermal's so sick.
It's pretty good, pretty good.
There was a straight up firing squad in the main, is what it was. I mean, it died ultimately, but damn, that was cost effective. I mean, the resources lost right now. I know Todd would have you look at the supply. I'll have you look at the resources lost instead. Because Jesus, uThermal is pulling ahead. I mean, this went from being about cost efficient to just he's trading better in a lot of these fights. Like, okay, this looks terrible. That's 1 medevac down. Great for Namshar. Out of like 10, that's the first good one.
Well, Namshar's supply doesn't look that bad because he's able to save his Ravagers every single time. And that's like a lot of buffer supply that's not necessarily that useful when everything else is dead.
Yeah, considering though grows further as Namshar loses these extra outer bases. This is kind of his last base mining. There's a little bit of minerals left in the natural, but for the most part, uThermal's just going to be dropping mules on top of planetaries, on top of the main and whatever this gets lifted over. And this looks pretty bad for Namshar.
It does, yeah. I mean, he's committed a little bit more to his mutas, so looking for some opportunity with them to like kill out production or inside those medevacs might be worthwhile. But this very much so feels like a desperation push. Like unless he starts applying pressure, he'll just continue being choked out here, and that is true.
Well, Banelings roll in, and they unfortunately meet the face of Marauders, not Marines, so WPPW gets called. That's
or that.
Well, people played well.
Yes, that's probably what he meant.
It's okay, guys. I don't think English is Namshar's first language. We'll give him a pass.
Ah. Well, thank you to Hojo the Super Clown for the 15 month resub.
Hojo the Super Clown.
Just got back from PAX and saw Tempo. Wish you guys came to the East Coast sometime. And I live in the East Coast, so.
No, we need real talk. This goes back to Power Rangers. Zach sounds exactly like Tempo. Like, I had it on my second monitor. It's not racist. It'd be racist if I said, hey, those two black guys sound exactly the same. What I'm saying is the human being Zach sounds exactly like the human being Tempo. Like, I just had it playing on a second monitor, and it just, like, I actually lost myself in one of the episodes because I was playing StarCraft but listening. I was like, is that Tempo? Do I have Tempo stream on? Like, it was this moment of just, like, it was like 1 second. It wasn't long, but it was enough for me to be like, yo, these guys sound so similar.
Jokes aside, I actually don't think they sound similar at all. I'm like, I can't even get on board with this.
No.
I mean, I haven't been listening to as much Power Rangers, I think,
I
as
watched
you.
11 hours of Power Rangers yesterday.
But I do think that Zach has has a higher pitched voice overall. Like I think it's different. We'll see what chat thinks. What you guys think in chat? Thanks.
All right, what's the next map here, by the way?
Belshire.
Let me load that up before we hop into it. Okay, game number 2 coming up, and yeah, Namshar is in a spot of trouble if this game goes the same way.
I mean, it wasn't really a bad game last time. It
No.
wasn't just an immediate stomp, but it was, I think, like just sheer, like overall skill was a little bit higher for uThermal. So it was really just a game of pressure.
Yeah. All right, see you guys in a moment. All right, game number 2 in the semifinals for the Corsair Cup underway. In the top left, he's blue, he's Zerg, playing for Dead Pixels. It's Namshar.
In the bottom right is the red Terran. He is liquid uThermal.
Of course, leading 1-0. Is off to a great start. I do need to refill my water, though, so I will be back in just a moment.
Okie dokie. Well, like I said, I think uThermal just had an overall better performance TVZ wise, and Namshar was kind of almost just barely getting to a point where he could settle and do well. It never actually got to a comfortable position for him. And some of that might have to do with his build order as well. I don't know about committing to the roaches like that and the mutas too. Like, you certainly see, although it's a bit older school of a style, to go for roaches into Ravagers with Ling Baneling, but I don't think you add on the Spire as well most of the time. You add on the Infestation Pit, actually, and you continue upgrading the melee so you can go eventually into a Hive and into Ultras. That we've certainly seen a lot, but the addition of the Spire didn't really work well enough for the commitment of gas and minerals that goes into it that could have been in Infestors, and I think that me and can both agree that it would have been much better to have Infestors as opposed to those mutas, because you also think about what the mutas did, and maybe if they had killed 5 reactors and kept the army back, that would have been very different. They didn't really do anything at all. I think they got like 2 medevacs, and uThermal was already planning on pulling back anyways, so it wasn't really a lot to do with the game. So I don't know if he'll do that again. I mean, he might switch up his styles just in general, Spire or not. Might go just pure roach this game, something like that. But uThermal also opened up that last game with those Hellbats, and maybe there is some like a feeling of like he needed to get those roaches because he knew that uThermal could do those things, and then kind of felt stuck with them to make them into Ravagers. I don't know.
Sorry, I'm back. Hello. I spilled water all over my shirt because I am an adult who can apparently not pour a glass of water for himself.
Womp womp.
Feels bad, man. Sorry. Yeah, so that took a couple seconds longer than I expected. Rip. There's an interesting kind of joke, I guess. I don't think a real thing. Someone's saying Queen should do more damage to Archons, which is just, for me, I'm like, I don't know where that's coming from, considering we're casting Terran and Zerg. But I would actually think it'd be terrible if Queens had any sort of bonus for Psionic. I think Queens are really cool, but they're actually already on the verge of being a little bit too overpowered in some scenarios. If you made them actually army viable on top of their current status, rip, I think Queens would actually be too OP.
Queens are pretty good. Queens are not as obnoxious in terms of the idea of one-stop defense as a mothership core is, but especially with certain playstyles, when you really think about it, they can be the ultimate overall unit, catch-all unit.
You can only make one mothership core. You can make 11 queens if you're Snoot.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said it's not as obnoxious, because it's not like literally one unit, and it's it's doing a lot of things. One queen does not do a lot, but because they're already so essential and they have so many good tools, like making 11 never really seems to be that bad. I'd have to ask a Zerg Pro actually why they don't go for 11 queens, especially during that time when Snoot was just seriously dominating. I was just like, why is no one else making so many queens?
Well, okay, I know we're on like hashtag Team Snoot right now, but I actually, when it comes to queens of being OP, I always think of either Xanster or Scarlet. Xanster because of his hilarious run to Grandmaster by just going gasless. I'll talk more on that in a moment if you guys haven't heard of it. But also Scarlet, who actually did for a while use as an actual strategy in high-level ZvP, Mass Queen Infester.
Yeah.
But yeah, for those who don't know, Xanster made a whole show of this thing where he only went Spore Crawlers, Queens, and Slow Zerglings. So literally no gas and no gas units. And he got to Grandmaster doing this, and he streamed his whole run, and it just made me so mad watching those games work.
Oh, just it is maddening to see that, but it's also like, yeah, pro gamers can do that with almost any unit.
Yeah, pro gamers can get away with a lot of BS. Alright, Raven is initially pushed back to the side. With the Lings ready to throw their bodies at the auto turret, I really don't think there's going to be a lot uThermal gets done with this. Hiding this in the corner for now and hoping that uThermal's not paying attention later might be better. But, oh, you know what? Namshar is not paying attention as the Queens just get walked upon by those Hellbats.
Well then, that Raven feels a little bit useless.
It's a walk by. Walk for your lives.
That was so weird. Like, my camera was on yours, but it wasn't on what you were looking at, so you just zoomed in the main base for me.
Really?
But I'm back onto the Hellbats.
I definitely zoomed in on the Queen.
Yeah, I knew what you were talking about because I heard the walk for your life thing, but you were just definitely zooming in on Lings in the main base for me. I guess it had messed up when I had gone off and back on after you left.
Yeah, the observer camera's got some weird functionality to it, we'll say.
Yeah. But anyway, so right, you're talking about the Hellbat attack, and it was just like, this is the kind of the trick about Hellbat attacks. A lot of the times, if you just have a lot of open space and enough queens, like they actually aren't going to do that much, even if it's a complete surprise. But there's also a ton of roaches. So, well, that wasn't too good of an attack, I would say. I mean, uThermal used a lot of army for it. Didn't kill that many drones.
Actually, that was like what? How many? 10 Hellbats. That was a lot. That was a big dedication of minerals. Not to mention the fact that the Raven has been shut down at every turn too. So it's not getting a lot right now. I wouldn't say he's in trouble for this or anything. I mean, the third command center is on the way after all, or rather, it's floating on the way, I should say. But this is unfortunate because there was so many minerals dedicated to getting nothing done, and that is not a full wall off.
That's not okay. Both things are not okay.
Neither is this. This is... I get there's a lot of riff logic things, but this one bothers me the most. A command center should absolutely be able to land on one Zergling.
Of course it should.
Two? That's too many. But
It's the
one?
stupidest thing ever.
Two? What are you, crazy?
So stupid. How does he not know that that's on a wall? How does he not see that?
Maybe it's intentional. He wants the sickest choke of all time. You know, the banelings won't go off on the wall if they can walk through the funnel.
I think you got it, man. I think you understand him.
I think uThermal's on some next level stuff here. Crazy strategy.
Yeah. Oh, what a great time to resub. If only Queens had more range. Resub for 9 months in a row.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is the guy who left that comment earlier.
If only Queens had more range and more damage for Psionic.
Or maybe he meant specifically versus Archons. Because, you know, he doesn't want to be OP versus Templar or Ghosts, right? Just specifically Archons. Archons, the unit that is made to be the direct counter to Zerg. Yeah. Well, that was a base
Protoss
snipe,
kind of made to be the direct counter to Zerg.
right? Best represented in recent matchups, but great base snipe, by the way. A third base for Namshar right now is actually very important. His income is going to take a massive hit to this. So uThermal, who has not done great trades up to this point, can still get away with not doing great trades. So that economy boost is going to be heavily benefiting him, especially once mules start raining from above. That Raven, where's she go? Or he going?
Two maybe. Even without the snipe in the third base, which was really, really good, uThermal's doing an okay job recovering anyways. Like, his macro is pretty good as a pro gamer, you know. So third base is done, and 3 racks additionally.
So...
Raven!
I can't believe it lived, actually.
I love That's a Raven.
I know you
Catch
do.
his
In
theme
this
song. This so
Actually, what's been killing me, you guys have to understand, for the next, get ready to deal with it, 2 weeks, I'm going to be talking about Power Rangers on the cast. I couldn't get over how much the communicators in Power Rangers sound exactly like the communicator for Kim Possible. Yeah. Do 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 do.
I didn't notice the similarities, but
call me, beat me, if you want.
I think Mika's right though. Like, wouldn't it be that Kim Possible copied Power Rangers?
Unless Power Rangers is actually written in the future.
Shocking. So there's a bunker there he could also use, but I don't think he has to. These Marines, they're almost evenly upgraded, I suppose. They were
actually
very close to having 2-2.
Time Ranger, there was the Time Force series. So Power Rangers was from the future.
It's a Japanese one, isn't it? Oh no, that was also an American one. I forget there's so many American ones too.
Super Sentai.
God, no, the best one's about the fruit though, and that's only Japanese.
That's Kamen Rider though. That's not Power Rangers.
Okay, you're right, but
Gokai Gar was the best, by the way. I'm just saying.
Like Kamen Rider, Power Rangers, again.
Look, all I know is that the metal riffs in Power Rangers are like super metal.
This is a very poor attempt at a. Yeah, I was gonna say like an almost base trade, but just Mutas doesn't really cut it.
Go Power Rangers!
The movie was the best.
Which one though? Because there were several.
Their first one, the movie.
The movie. Actually,
the movie. Just like when you say the movie in Pokemon, it's one movie.
It's the one where Pikachu cries and you cry with them, right?
Yeah.
Actually, on that note, I've been learning a lot about the Power Rangers sort of lore on the Japanese side that I never even heard of in my life. About how, like, for example, the Blue Ranger was never meant to be like the smart or courageous one like they make Billy out to be, but he was actually the comic relief. And he would make like all these crazy gadgets that they had to cut out of the show and ask like, I guess, Bandai for like different scenes of, because they wanted to make it work with the way they had set it up. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. This is, I mean, it makes sense because when you watch a lot of Japanese shows out there, whether it's anime or real life action, they always do have that one over the top goofy character. So kind of makes sense. There would be one.
He does end up still kind of being the comic relief because he's always made fun of for being nerdy, but it's a different type.
Well, yeah, they made him like a klutz and like really stupid. Yeah. But anyways, we're going to hop into commercial break while we get into the other series. It is Mana versus Keen TVP. That'll be coming up here in just a moment. And they should hopefully be ready to go. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.